Okay, so one of the best ways to record animation in Unreal is to use what's known as the take recorder to record sequences. Now this is interesting because it allows you to record your interactions with the game. Now how does that work? Actually, I'm just going to come out of simulate mode and we'll play in selected viewport. Now this is where we finished up. We've got our character who's just running and looping. You know, we'll fix that looping if necessary later. Now for this example, I don't want to have looping, I'm just going to have yelling. Like so. So if we play, yeah, we've got a character yelling, it's just going to loop that animation there. Right, but now let's say we want to have a vehicle. So I'm going to go to World Settings, Game Mode Override, because this is a new level. I want the Off-Road Game Mode. That means that when I press play, I've got a vehicle and I can drive around, I can see my animation playing, but I'm active in the scene and I can play the game like so. Obviously there is no physics set up appropriately where we would crash into somebody and send them flying or anything like that. Okay, that's something you could worry about if you needed it later. My suggestion is you don't do that, you know, early on. Anyway, so we're playing the game. Now what we want to do is actually record us playing the game, record the motion of this vehicle and have that animated in our scene. And that is really quite straightforward to do. What we'll use is something called the take recorder. So I'm going to escape from that. Now what I want is to add in a player start. So I'm going to add in a player start. Make sure that it's snapped to the ground. Make sure that it's where, if we look now, it's not quite facing the way that we want, so I'm going to rotate it. We can see that blue arrow. I'm going to make sure it's facing the character. Well, move just off. So the character's just to the right. So we play, there we go. So we start in that position. Now I'm going to go to Window, Cinematics, and open up the take recorder. Now this allows us to record what's happening in here. Okay, but the problem is I need a source. I need to say record the motion of the car. Now we've got a sequencer here, so our edit track where we can actually edit video, and we're going to record something to the sequencer, an animation sequence to the sequencer, so we can capture it and use it later. So if I press play, yeah, now I need to set up a source, and we can see from actor we've got our off-road car. I'm going to click on that and then click on record. I get a countdown and click in the window, 3, 2, 1, and now you can see at the bottom there I'm actually recording the sequence. So I'm just going to do a really quick loop, yeah, and then come up and park next to the yelling person. There we go. Escape from that. That will save the animation. Now if I look in my content browser, I've got this new folder called Cinematics, Takes, First Take. Now I start to have a scene here. If I open that, you can see, look, now I've recorded the footage. If I just zoom out, yeah, we can see I've recorded that animation, which I can play back along the timeline that I've just moved. Now I can see the camera in the viewport. I'm going to click on the viewport. I press G, that will just put me in game mode, so it will get rid of all of the unnecessary gizmos and cameras and all the rest of it. So you can see the animation, which is great. Now that I would actually use in the sequencer to turn this into a sequence that I could incorporate into my final video. So that's the take recorder. Now vehicles, great, but you might want to actually use people as well. So for that I'm going to add the content pack, because I started with the vehicle template. Now I'm going to add the third person template, add to project, cancel, If I do exactly the same, I'm going to bring this in, which will be our third person. Tape recorder, I'm going to delete that, we don't need that. The game mode, because now I want to be the third person, I'm going to use the third person game mode, and we'll do exactly the same. If I click on play, I'm starting, okay, so there's a conflict there. We've got the vehicle spawning in the same place. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so what we need to do, get rid of that. Okay, so we're spawning both in the same place. Let's have a look at the details of the car. Auto possess player, placed in wild. Okay, well the car is spawning, we'll fix that later. I need to go into the project settings, but that's okay, don't worry about that. Right, so we won't record that. What I'll do is, we'll click on play, let that jump out of the way. Source, any actor, from actor, sorry, you're going to choose the third person character, click on countdown, 3, 2, 1, click in the window, control the character, run around, yeah, have an argument, be yelled at, yeah, and then run away again. So we'll escape from that. Now what we should find is in the content browser, our cinematics, takes, we've got another scene, and then that should be our person running and playing the action that we did. Okay, so we've got these two animated scenes.